Before we get started with actually doing a full yoga practice, some very key integral things, components, part of your practice that you should do every single class throughout the entire class are pranayama, your Dristi, and your Bhandas. So pranayama. Pranayama is a breathing exercise. Specifically, Mimi's on her wheel. Specifically, we do Ujjayi breathing in Ashtanga Yoga. And you may have heard this be called like Darth Vader's breath, but it's basically a slight constriction on the back of your throat. So it creates this audible quality to your breath, so much so that you should be able to hear your neighbor breathing, your neighbor should hear you breathing. It's loud, and it should be loud. I've seen like weirdos who have no knowledge of yoga in comment sections of yoga videos be like, when people breathe so loud, it annoys me. Shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. That's what you should be doing in a yoga class, okay? So please evaporate any form of self-consciousness. It's what you should be doing. And as a yoga teacher, it's what we look for in students to hear that. So imagine you are fogging up a mirror, but you're doing it through your nose. So mouth is closed. We breathe only through our nose for yoga. Inhale and exhale. So do it with me. One more. And practice this a few times on your own so that you can get a feel for it. You want the length of your inhalation to be the same as the length of your exhalation. So you can do 3 seconds inhale, 3 seconds exhale, whatever works, but you want it to be smooth, steady, and even throughout the entirety of your yoga practice. Okay? Okay. Secondly, your Dristi. Your Dristi is a gaze. It is a focal point for your eyes so that you can maintain your balance and maintain your focus. We have a few Dristis, gazes that we focus on in Ashtanga Yoga. One is the tip of your nose, so you will end up a little cross-eyed, but it helps you to focus on your practice. And you can still see some things in your peripheral, but it stops you from being distracted, honestly, and it keeps your balance too, because sometimes when we're doing a balancing pose such as tree pose or any other asana, if your eyes are moving around, your body will move around. So it's very important to stay focused on looking at your nose for some of the poses. Another Dristi is looking at the tips of your fingers. So when our hands are extended in certain positions, we look up and we look at our thumbs, the tips of our fingers, but the gaze is your hand. Last Dristi that is important is your belly button, navel. And that's specifically when we're in a fold, such as like a downward dog, and you want to tuck your chin and look at your belly button. And these 3 placements for your eyes, your nose, the tips of your fingers, your belly button will help you maintain your focus and your balance during your practice. And they are very important to maintain the entire time. And lastly, your Bhandas. So a Bhanda is, loose term, is a lock. And there are 2 main Bhandas that we focus on in Ashtanga Yoga during our yoga practice that we try to keep and maintain the entire practice. So first Bhanda is Mula Bhanda, pelvic floor. So imagine you're trying to stop yourself from using the bathroom, like you have to pee and you're trying to hold your pee, or doing a Kegel. That is Mula Bhanda lock. So you're lifting your pelvic floor in and up. And you do this the entire practice. Second Bhanda, second lock, is your belly button, Uddiyana Bhanda. So you try to hug your belly button in super, super tight. Think belly button in towards your spine, like if you could squish it in. And these 2 Bhandas, the pelvic floor lifting, Mula Bhanda, and your navel coming in, Uddiyana Bhanda, help you maintain your balance and build strength. It builds that core strength and it makes your practice so much easier. A cool analogy I once heard when I was doing a training was, imagine you have like a soda can, the aluminum can. When it's unopened, it's really tight. You can't really squeeze it because it's locked in. But the second you open that lid, you can squish it. It's more malleable. So, alarms, I live in a city. So if you have everything locked in, it makes you tight. It makes you firm. It makes everything super strong so that you can do your practice better. And this is a lifelong practice of maintaining these 3 components of the Ujjayi breathing, the looking at your nose, the hugging your belly button in, lifting your pelvic floor. And it's just something you continuously remember. So you will hear me say while I'm teaching class, while I'm teaching you, Dristi, Bhandas, Ujjayi breathing breath. And I will just keep reminding you. And it's just a way to keep locking in. So every time you hear me say it, try to remember. And over time, with practice, you will be able to do it second nature. It's at a point now in my practice where some days I'm like, oh yeah, like let me, squeeze my bandhas. What was I doing? I wasn't locked in. Or other days it's just second nature. And again, this is from someone who's been practicing yoga for decades. It just takes time. It simply takes time. So those are the 3 components that you definitely need to integrate into your yoga practice. And I hope it suits you. Try it whether you are doing Ashtanga yoga or any other practice. And over time, it will just become second nature. If you have any questions, please let me know, and happy practicing.